This is exactly how I went from working at a cafe to running a $500,000 per year media company. In this video, I'm going to go over my story from how I went from working at a cafe to running this media company. And I'm going to give you some actionable tips on what you can do to position yourself to set yourself up to get ready to potentially gain a position like this. Hey creators, Aimon here, and this is where I help you master your creative mindset and unlock your dream creative life. Let's get into it. So a very long time ago, probably 10 years ago now, I'd have to think about it. Well, yeah, obviously 10 years ago, I was in hospitality, working in hospitality. And, it wasn't horrible. I was at uni, I was at film school, right? And working a cafe job, and it was like good because it was local. Oh my God, I just found out, I found this little thing in my room the other day, which is a little black thing, and I've just figured out that it's actually from my tripod. That's hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, it was like a perfect job because it was right near where I lived. I was able to work around my uni schedule quite well, which is good. Rocking the Catan mug again today, fam, 3 T's. And, it was kind of just like the job that you get at the time. When you're young, you just kind of get any job that you can get your hands on, right? And that worked for me, and it was really good to help, my social skills, interacting with, 300 to 500 people a day, which is obviously really good for you. So it helped develop some of my confidence, some of my sales skills, some of my personable skills, some of my empathy skills. That was really good. But obviously I didn't love it. It wasn't my passion, right? But I was at film school, so I kind of accepted that this is my reality. The thing is, I didn't really have a clear direction after I left film school. So I was in film school for three years. And soon after that, I was like, sweet, let's dip off and travel for 6 to 8 months. So I went to South America, which is fantastic, right? But again, I just kind of knew I was good at film in school, but didn't really know what to do outside of that. Teachers kind of funneled me into going into film school, and that's what I did. And I'm so sorry, they just started construction outside my house literally the second that I started this video. So hopefully I'm a wizard enough so that you can't hear it. But anyway, went traveling, came back, started a bit of a website because I knew I wanted to do something in media. Had no idea really anything to do with marketing, branding, business, sales, or actually high quality media, right? I just had a camera that I had through film school, was filming some things for different people that needed it along the way. Anyone that I enjoyed working with, that I liked, I would collaborate with. Any hint or whiff of, helping a business in my area, I would jump on it and I would do it for dirt cheap, right? And that's definitely one of the keys, which I'll get to later on in the video. But the thing is, I worked at this cafe for 7 years. It was a very long time, okay? And I've gone in and out of cafe work, and on the side of cafe work, I was always, pursuing filmmaking. So I'd pick up a client here or there just by knowing someone who knows someone who knows someone. And funnily enough, my first client was a real estate agent in my local area. And they gave me a shot. And they didn't really know what they wanted. I didn't really know how to direct them to actually provide value to them. But it ended up making some content that was quite valuable to them, right? And little by little, when I had these little jobs here or there, just by knowing somebody who knows somebody, just being like, hey, can I get that job? Can I please give this a go? I was able to upgrade my gear slowly but surely, right? And that was the only thing I was obsessed with, upgrading my gear and traveling, as you do when you're young. And I wouldn't take that back for anything, right? And yeah, then pretty soon after that, I ended up just kind of giving up because I had been in business full time. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this full time. I was in and out of cafe jobs, and I'm going to do this full time. So I'd put on a work kind of suit and go into my room while living at my parents' house. And I'd try and, I'd work on my website and I'd do all the other things that you need to, anything but actually doing the work, right? And yeah, so and this is just all I knew how to do, right? I was just doing the best with the information that I had at the time and just really trying. And occasionally I'd pick up a client here and I'd be sending video messages back and forth to random real estate agents or builders and trying to figure out what niching is, and slowly but surely learning about business, learning about marketing and sales through, podcasts, audiobooks, reading physical books, and just the day-to-day life of the grind of getting in and out of it, And in comparison to a lot of people out there that are in the, there's a lot of young people that are really crushing it, but you can't compare yourself to those people. You're on your own journey. And I definitely, didn't have specific business skills as I was growing up, going through school. So I was just doing the best with the information that I had, right? Anyway, kind of gave up on this at least twice. Went traveling for 4 months again to Canada, and again, wouldn't take any of that back for the whole world because I gained so much life experience during that time. Came back, got another job at a cafe, and then I was like, no, I'm out of this completely. So I got a sales job actually at a travel agency, and hated that so much. I was like, this is capitalism at its worst. But learned so many sales skills in that role as well. Again, that was more sales focused, right? And I definitely wasn't set up for me. There's the sales that you can do as a creative, and the sales when you're in an actual sales role. If you're not good at it, and if there's like 3 tiers to it, almost like creative, and then you make money from that. If not, you do marketing, and if you're not good at marketing, then you do sales, right? Turns out I'm really good at creative stuff, pretty damn good at marketing stuff, not as good at sales stuff if it's direct sales, right? So I did that for 2 years and pretty much hated every minute of it, but I didn't know what else to do. And it was a good, consistent source of income. I was always hustling on the side during this time, right? I'd pick up a client here or there, always just upgrading my gear, putting it into the travel fund. And eventually quit that job. I was like, no, I've had enough of this. I can't do this anymore. I want to go back to cafe work because it was so chill, right? You don't have to think about anything. You don't take any of your work home with you. You're not, getting hit up by clients after hours, and you're not doing late days and all that sort of stuff. And I didn't have any time to myself. I'd get home, maybe make a bit of music, be mad about everything and go to bed, right? And if you're not like bitter and have a chip on your shoulder, sorry to say, you're probably not going to really get anywhere because you don't have a drive or a motivation to get where you need to go. And wherever that comes from, it can be toxic and it's something to explore. But if you don't have that, then it might be tough to get somewhere. That being said, I haven't experienced not having that kind of chip on my shoulder, so I don't know. And yeah, soon after that, I was like, no, I'm going to apply for a bunch of video jobs. Why not? Okay. And through a friend of a friend, they put me onto this one person. And at this time, I was actually doing pretty consistent video work on the side. I had a really good rig set up, my A7 III, right? And yeah, I was doing some good work on the side pretty consistently, right? Not enough to be completely full-time. And just as I was about to quit my other cafe job, which I was working at my friend's cafe, which is just super chill, shout out if you're watching. And yeah, then I kind of just hit up this one person that my friend told me about who was thinking about maybe starting a video department, went in, had an interview, he offered me a job, and I started the next day. So that was a really good experience as well. And I was only in that role for about 6 months. But all throughout this period of time, over the last 10 years, I was consistently posting videos and all the different cool stuff that I was into, all the different stuff that I was collaborating with people on my Instagram, right? Making a little bit of a name for myself, following different people in the area that I might want to be connected to. And so about 6 months into that role of being the head of video, when they had no media department at all, I got a direct message from a real estate agent, which was 10 minutes from my house. And keep in mind, this last video job that I was at was like 45 minutes from my house. So it was a vibe kill because I'd have to get up early, come home late, and same deal. I just didn't really have too much time to do anything that I wanted to do, right? Honestly, try combining like 3 T's together. You won't be disappointed. And this DM was like, hey, do you want a job? Do you want to be our media team director, essentially? And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to suss out my options because you always do. Why not? Anyway, went in and I got that job. I started that job like the next day, essentially. And little did I know, like I was essentially the head of media of that role, right? And this is for a real estate company. And fast forward 4 years, I've been in that role for 4 years now. And the media company that is the subsidiary, if that's the correct word, of this real estate company, I run that whole real estate company, real estate media company, and I direct, 2 employees and make sure all the media that goes out is absolutely top notch. I believe at least that our media is the highest quality in the area, and that business turns over about 500K per year. Okay, so we've got 3 employees. I'm one of them. And that's the position that I'm in right now. So it's not my own business, but I'm running this business for another business, essentially. It's a really valuable position to be in. And that's kind of how that's just my journey on how I got there. But now I'm going to jump into, just for some more, clarity, like this is a deeply fulfilling creative role and I get paid well to do it. And that's the key, I think, as a creative, because I absolutely love this role. Could I be doing my own business and crushing it full time? Absolutely. But then I wouldn't have time for all my other creative projects, which as a creative person is extremely important to me. If you're new here, obviously I run this media company, but I also have a YouTube channel, and I also have 2 music projects, one called Cozy Guy and one called Nomia, bass music and like alternative pop. You can check out all those things in the description. And you can also check out some of my courses, which could be more valuable to you if this is of value to you, in the description as well. They're super duper cheap, and immensely valuable. Anyway, so some of the keys that have actually helped me in that role, in terms of actually how I got that role, how I positioned myself to get that role, and how I was able to move up the ranks in that role to provide more value to this business, receive more value in return, and ultimately create a service and an offering that's going to be immensely valuable to everyone involved, right? And that first key, which I kind of hinted at the start, was consistently putting out content I liked on all suitable platforms about stuff that I liked, which honed my craft, right? So this is a huge one. Like, forever, I've just been a creative person, right? But instead of being a creative person, not doing anything about it, I've always been making little films with people. And even if I was like, oh, cool, let's go down to, this point area where there's a little bit of a beach area and it's kind of sunset, just with a friend. And I'd be like, let's film you doing some like yoga and sitting in trees and make a little montage out of it. And, it's like cool reels before reels were even a thing, right? And so I was always putting out content like this, and some of the content blew up, some of the content didn't do so well, but whatever, I was still like creative and putting content out there, building this brand, building a personal brand, getting my face on camera, getting my name on camera. And I believe this is one of the fundamental keys as to what helped position me to the point where somebody wanted to reach out to me and offer me a really good role, right? Running a company for them. Okay. The second thing was collaborating with all local creatives. So I kind of alluded to that just there. But I have so many videography friends. I've done a lot of media work for festivals, for music festivals, and always collaborate with those people outside of festivals and within festivals. And any opportunity I saw to provide value to people, I would just love to do that, right? And this kind of ties into the next point as well. This is the third key, is doing free work for bigger artists or businesses, okay? Now, as I mentioned earlier, it was like, just any opportunity I saw for a local business. It's like, look, I really want to do this work for you. How about I do like one piece of content for you? And if you like it, then you can pay me to do more, right? And if you've seen some of my other videos, like one of my main things in life is to over deliver on value with every relationship that I had, and I didn't have this concept back then, but I have this concept now because I've kind of like realized that this is part of what's really helped me get to where I am. And so, any artists that you know, any friends that you know, any bands that you know, anyone that you know, if you don't know what your niche is, like what you want to be doing, then, just provide content to them, valuable for free. It's immensely valuable to them. And if they don't pay you, which quite often, if you do a good enough job, they'll be like, oh, can I pay you $100, $200 for this? Which, it doesn't seem like much, but it adds a little bit, which you can upgrade your gear or you can reinvest in yourself or do some marketing. And when it comes to businesses, and this is just, as I said, all local artists. So other videographers, anyone that was doing performances, like people that were heavily involved in the music scene. So a lot of people in that scene as well. And finally, businesses as well. It's like, hey, I'd love to do some work for your business, and sometimes it just ends up being paid work straight up. But sometimes it ends up being, look, just let me do a 20-second piece of content for you for free. It's not that much like skin off my back, because you can use that for your own, Instagram marketing or to show off work that you're doing for other businesses to validate your idea. It gives you authority, right? But the other thing is then they might be like, oh, you did a great job on that and you provided us value for nothing. What does your paid work look like? And then you open that conversation there. So they're the 3 keys that really helped me get to the position that I am today. And I actually can't believe that I'm in the position that I am now. Again, it was only, 7 years ago that I was working at a cafe for the 7th on and off year in a row, right? And it was getting pretty tedious. I was very over it by that time, let me tell you. And I had no idea what was coming for me. But now here I am just a few years later, running my dream business, essentially. I've got more than enough time to pursue all of my creative pursuits outside of this business. I'm able to over-deliver on value, create creative work, which fulfills me deeply, and get paid pretty well for it, right? So this is just a perfect balance for me. It might not be the same balance for you, but either or, if you're posting stuff on Instagram and TikTok and whatever platform that you need to, that's going to show you. It's going to show off what you're doing, your portfolio. You're doing things, right? People are going to notice that stuff. And secondly, if you're collaborating with a bunch of other people, that's going to get your name out there. And then all of a sudden, old mate's going to be like, oh, hey, I know a person that needs a job in this industry. Like, you can do that, right? And then boom, you're going to get paid work through that, okay? You're going to just build this huge network of people, right? And thirdly, doing free work for artists or businesses, or, I still do a lot of free work for music industry events because I'm just so passionate about particular niches, which definitely aren't profitable niches. I know my friend is running an events company, a little dubstep events company, and I just do free work for him every single time. And if I charged him, it would be $1,000. But I know that he wouldn't be able to afford that. And I just want to provide value to my scene. And I don't care about that. I know my work is immensely valuable, but it's still something that I do. Like, I still do free work for people, depending on who they are and if they're a friend and if I can provide value to them and if I care about it. So, these principles, they continue. And I still continue to post stuff nonstop on every platform, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Most of it doesn't pop off, right? But you never know who's watching, right? And again, I've got real estate agents from all around the area that are always watching my stuff. And they know that I'm the head of media for this one real estate company. And they know that if I wasn't there anymore, that they would hit me up, right? I've had DMs from so many people with so many opportunities have come from this. It's crazy, right? So yeah, collaborating with people, doing work for artists and businesses, and just all of these kinds of things are going to position you to have opportunities just presented to you like you just would not believe. So that's my story, how I went from working at a cafe to running a 500K per year media business. Hopefully you've gotten some value out of this. Any thoughts or questions, feel free to leave them below. Happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you want to know any more, then I can make a follow-up video. But yeah, hopefully you've gotten some value, and I'll see you in the next one.